You buy a tomato labeled for containers. By July, it's either fighting the cage for space, the leaves are speckled with spots, or you count the harvest on one hand at the end of the season. Usually it's all three. Two varieties break that pattern completely. One stays under 30 inches tall and still loads up with full-size beefsteak tomatoes, more than you'd expect from something that small. The other grows more like a bush than a vine, keeps setting fruit clear into the worst of the summer heat. Neither one showed a trace of disease start to finish. There's a difference in how these two behave once the heat sets in, and that difference decides which one actually belongs in your setup. Most people walk into a garden center in spring, see a tag that says "Great for containers," and take that at face value. It's not an unreasonable thing to do. The tag is right there on the plant. Somebody wrote it. It seems like information, not marketing. What that tag usually means is that the variety stays small. That's it, small enough to fit a pot without falling over. Nobody's testing whether it also holds up against blight in a wet July or whether it actually sets more than a dozen fruit for the whole season. So you end up with a plant that behaves exactly the way the tag promised, compact, easy to manage, and produces 4 or 5 tomatoes total before it gives up in August. Technically, it did what it said. It just didn't do what you needed. This mistake also runs the opposite direction, and it's just as common. The other trap is picking a variety for its reputation as a heavy producer, something a neighbor swears by, a big beefsteak slicer that's supposed to load up all summer. Those varieties are often real workhorses in a raised bed or straight in the ground. Put the same plant in a container and it grows the way it was built to grow, tall, sprawling, 6 or 7 feet of vine looking for something to climb. It needs a cage most 5-gallon buckets can't support, and the second the branches start touching wet soil or bunching too close together, disease moves in fast. You end up staking a jungle instead of harvesting a garden. Here's what I've decided about those 3 words on a seed packet: compact, disease-resistant, productive. Almost nothing earns all 3. Most varieties are bred to win one of those fights and give up ground on another, and the label never tells you which one it sacrificed. The only way to actually know is watching 2 plants finish an entire season side by side, not reading what the packet promises in April. That's exactly what happened with these 2. The first is Bobcat. It's a determinate variety, which means it stops growing once it hits its mature size, and that size is right around 30 inches. That's short enough to manage in a grow bag or a large nursery pot without a serious staking system. What it does with that 30 inches is the part that surprises people. It sets full-size beefsteak tomatoes, not the small patio-type fruit you'd expect from something that compact, and it sets an enormous number of them. Planted about a month before the last frost, it came through an entire season without a sign of disease. The second is Celebrity Plus, an improvement on the old Celebrity variety from the 1990s. This one starts out growing like a vine for the first 2 to 3 feet, then shifts and grows more horizontally than vertically, more bush than climber. That habit makes it easier to keep under control around 5 to 6 feet, even though it technically keeps growing until frost. It's a true beefsteak type, producing large clusters of fruit, and just like Bobcat, it came through the season essentially free of disease. Here's the detail that's easy to miss. Both were planted the same day. Bobcat started ripening first, likely because it was so loaded with fruit that it slowed its own pace. Celebrity Plus, the technically later variety, wasn't far behind and kept producing heavier clusters as the season went on. 2 different growth habits, same result, a full container of usable tomatoes. In the comments, growers running this same pair in very different climates, coastal California, upstate New York, Texas heat, describe the same result. Plants holding up disease-free through conditions that usually knock out one variety or the other. That's a wider range than most container varieties can claim. Container size matters more than people expect. A 20 to 25-gallon fabric grow bag, or a hard nursery pot of similar size, gives both varieties enough root room to reach full production, and it holds moisture through a hot afternoon instead of drying out by 2 p.m. If that's more space than your patio allows, a large sturdy bucket works as a smaller scale option. Just know you may be watering more often once summer heat builds, the same trade-off you'd make with any tomato in a smaller pot. Staking needs to match the growth habit, not just the tag that says container friendly. Bobcat, staying compact and upright, does fine with a simple stake or a standard tomato cage. Celebrity Plus needs something sturdier, since it's going to bush out horizontally and carry real weight in fruit clusters. A flimsy cage will lean under that load by midsummer. This is also where containers solve a problem a lot of you already have and don't realize is fixable. If your native soil is heavy clay or full of rock, that's exactly the kind of soil that stunts tomato roots and holds too much water around them after a rain. In a container, none of that matters. You fill it with a light, well-draining potting mix, and the roots get exactly the environment they need regardless of what's underneath your patio or your yard. That's one of the advantages of growing these two in a pot instead of fighting your existing dirt. Plant about a month ahead of your last frost date so the plant has size on it before the heat of summer arrives, and give it full sun, 6 to 8 hours minimum. Both varieties will forgive a lot of mistakes. They won't forgive being crowded into a container too small to hold enough water for a July afternoon. One more way to get more out of these two without spending another $1. Both varieties root easily from cuttings, either a sucker pinched off the main stem or a side shoot, set in a glass of water for a week or two until roots form, then potted up like any transplant. That gives you a second wave of plants for a later planting, timed for a fall harvest, without buying another 6-pack of seedlings. It's the same plant, free, just started a few weeks behind the first one. The first mistake is undersizing the container to save space, then adding a support system that isn't built for how the plant actually grows. I've done exactly that, put a Celebrity Plus type in a container a size too small with a basic cage meant for a compact determinate, and watch the branches spill over the rim by July, touching the soil, holding moisture against the leaves. That's exactly the condition that invites the disease these varieties are otherwise built to resist. The genetics can only do so much if the setup around the plant is working against it. The second mistake is watering both the same way because they're sitting next to each other. Bobcat stays upright and compact so its container gets full sun and dries out faster. Celebrity Plus bushes out and starts shading its own soil once it spreads, holding moisture longer. Water them on the same schedule and you'll either underwater the Bobcat or keep the Celebrity Plus too wet, right around the time its branches are already sitting close to the surface. Check each pot on its own, don't assume one schedule covers both. A simple check works for either one. Push 2 fingers about 2 inches into the soil and hold for a few seconds. If it still feels moist, leave it alone, even if the leaves look a little tired in the afternoon heat. That's usually the plant managing the heat, not asking for water. What's actually growing in your setup right now, and how's it holding up so far this season? Drop that in the comments, especially if you're dealing with a variety that's outgrowing its container. In the first few weeks after transplant, expect steady vertical growth on both, then a noticeable shift around week 4 or 5 when Celebrity Plus starts spreading out instead of up. Fruit set typically follows within a few weeks of that shift, with Bobcat usually coloring first, again likely because the sheer fruit load slows the plant down rather than any difference in ripening speed. One honest caveat worth knowing. In the comments, more than one grower mentioned Bobcat producing a bit slower than a variety like Early Girl, depending on region and season. That's a fair trade if the plant comes through the summer with next to no disease pressure, which is what determines whether you get a harvest at all. On the flavor question, people keep asking about hybrid slicers, disease-resistant or not. That's a fair thing to wonder about. But flavor only matters if the plant survives long enough to give you fruit to taste. A lot of container tomatoes never get that far. These being in containers instead of the ground also matters once the season starts winding down. A container can move. If an early frost is forecast weeks before your ground plants would normally quit, you can pull these up against the house or under a covered patio for a night or two and keep harvesting past the date an in-ground tomato would already be done. Moving a grow bag a few feet is a lot easier than trying to save a plant that's rooted straight into the yard. One specific spot is worth using if you have it, the south-facing wall of your house. That wall soaks up sun most of the day, even in fall, and radiates heat back out overnight. Add an overhang or gutter above it and you've got some shelter from frost settling directly on the plant. On an open, calm night, frost might show up once temperatures drop to around 34 degrees. Tucked against that wall, it often takes a drop to 25 or 26 degrees before frost forms at all. That's nearly a full hardiness zone of extra protection without a greenhouse or a single dollar spent. Slide the grow bags into that corner as the nights start turning, and you can keep both varieties producing weeks past when an open bed would already be finished for the year. I still think the same thing I said earlier. A seed packet can promise you 3 things, but it's usually only delivering 1 or 2, and the season is what tells you which one got sacrificed. Bobcat and Celebrity Plus are 2 of the rare exceptions that actually hold up on all 3, and that's worth more than an inch of extra height or a slightly bigger cage. If you're serious about growing real food in whatever space you've got, hit subscribe. It helps more than you'd think. I keep a container sizing breakdown by growth habit, determinate versus semi-determinate, over on the site if you want to plan this out before you buy your containers. Links in the description. If your goal is the biggest return from a single container, start with Bobcat. It delivers proof faster than almost anything else you can grow.